To start off in 2026, I am using my resistance bands home gym. This was after 1 year using my dumbbell and bodyweight setup, and I wanted to see if I still liked using the bands and if there's anything I can do to continue to improve that setup going through this year. Now, as of shooting this video, I am only about a month and a half into using the resistance bands, but there are four main things I keep coming across that either annoy me or have come up in the comments that I've had to address quite a few times when using this setup. So starting off with issue number one, we have the length of the bands to the height of the individual performing the exercises. Now for me, I use 41-inch loop resistance bands. The reason I use the loop ones is I do setups where I double loop the band or single loop the band depending on the exercise I am performing. Now I am 5 feet 11 inches tall, and for the platforms I've used, which include the step platform, which you get about 4 inches of pre-stretch, and the Geku platform, which you get about 2 inches of pre-stretch, it has worked for my height. However, I could see where if you are a lot taller than me or shorter than me, this could become a problem. And with that, there are certain exercises people have come across where they decide to change the bands. The most common one in my comment section is the chest press, where people are putting it around their back. Many people have gone down to like a 37-inch band in order to get enough tension through this exercise. I've personally not done this. I've actually used my board more on the floor to do the exercise a bit better with the bands that I have, but do know this one comes up quite a bit in the comments for people that are struggling to get enough resistance. Now, if I look at anyone about 6 feet tall, if you go up and down about 4 inches from that 6-foot marker, you're probably going to be fine with the 41-inch bands. But from there, if you fall out of that range, you may need to look at other options. So with that, let's jump into issue number 2, which is friction when using the standing or platforms with resistance bands. Now, I've used two, the Geku and the step platform, and both have had the same kind of problem when using my loop resistance bands. Now on each, you will notice that they have notches on the bottom or little cutouts where the bands can actually go. Now the step platform wasn't built for this, but it just works with how they designed it, so I'm just going with that. But with the Geku one, there is a clear cutout where the band should be. However, when you do the setup, it is, I'd say, pretty regular for the bands to not be perfectly set up when you get into it, where one side tends to have more tension in it than the other. And I can personally feel this regardless of the equipment I'm using, whether that be a bar or the J-hook handles that I have. And most notably, I can see it or feel it when using the J-hook handles. The bar, of course, I can tell every once in a while, but it's very apparent with the handles when something is off, as you can just really feel it in one arm over the other. Now, this has caused quite an annoyance for me, and it's probably my least favorite thing about actually using the resistance bands, because you can spend quite a bit of time actually getting set up and having both sides be as close to even or perfect as you can be. Again, I'd say it's still minor in the grand scheme of things, but it is something that has been annoying me lately more and more as I use the bands starting off 2026. Now, to go along with point number 2, I also want to throw in that you can have this friction problem if you do not have enough clearance for the bands to go under the platform and not rub against the floor as well. So you might actually want to get something that makes it so the platform, depending on the one you're using, is higher off the ground, especially if you're someone like me who works out on a carpeted surface. So I'm actually looking into thicker pads on the bottom. I'm actually looking at felt pads because I do put mine up against the wall as well, and it can mark your wall, so that's another problem you need to look into. But the bigger issue here is that you need to make sure, especially if you're using multiple bands, that you have enough clearance from the floor to the platform so that it's not rubbing against it, causing additional friction and making that setup harder. So just make sure when you're doing this that you have this in mind going into the workouts, and just make sure you have bought the appropriate pieces of it so that you don't have that additional friction occurring. So with that, let's jump into point number 3, which is addressing the range of motion concern. This one comes up all the time in the comments, so I really want to kind of go over what I do here to try and make sure anyone using the bands can get the results they're looking for. Now, the main thing, regardless of the modality that you are using, is that you are putting enough effort into your set to challenge the muscles to create a stimulus for those muscles to get bigger and stronger when you are not working out. So when you are resting. During that resting period, you need to make sure that you are allowing them to recover, and then also having proper nutrition, hydration, all that stuff, and all the building blocks to actually get your muscles to be able to build during that resting period. It is not during the workout you are building muscle, it is during the rest. You might get some swelling in your muscles, and you might get that pump. That's not really muscle building. That's just during the workout you have that the blood pumping and that additional size or sarcoplasmic size that will go away as you kind of calm down and do your everyday life. So here is how I train with the bands to do my best to get that stimulus for muscle growth. The first thing is that I do train to momentary muscle failure. However, there is a caveat that if I ever feel any pinching, any pain, think I'm unsafe, I will end early and get back into position to try it again. So always be safe when working out. Never push things to the point where you might get injured. Now, once I reach momentary muscle failure, my goal is to do 2 additional partial reps. This way, I just know I put in all the effort I can to elicit that stimulus and response. Again, it's not required. It's just something I've added in to try and make sure I'm pushing the body hard enough when using the bands. One thing I also do is slow down my eccentric when using bands quite a bit. I don't just drop it out. I make sure that it's a nice controlled lowering of the resistance. That way, you're not just kind of losing all the tension all at once. So again, I'm going to that momentary muscle failure, doing 2 additional partial reps while keeping a slow eccentric so that I can make sure the muscles are continuously being challenged as less and less tension is in the band. One additional thing you might even want to try is that in those last few reps, you just hold the resistance as long as you possibly can. So you go up to the momentary muscle failure and you just hold it there as long as you can. I'd say probably at least 5 seconds before ending that set. So you're just holding it as long as you can until you just can't hold it anymore. And that should generate enough of a stimulus for you to be able to build muscle when resting. Now, one final thing I'll throw in here is that I do normally do 2 sets. The main reason I don't only do 1 is because I still don't think when working out alone that I'm really pushing all the way to the failure point. If you have a trainer or someone who's really, really good at pushing you, you may find that you can do more reps than you normally could, especially if you're in a competition and they're challenging you during that set. A lot of people can push a lot farther than they think, including myself, so that is why I normally recommend 2 sets as a standard and a 3rd set if you feel like those first 2 sets weren't pushed hard enough for some reason. Maybe you had to end the set early for some reason, you were feeling some pain, some joint issues, so you then did an additional set. The only other time I recommend more sets in an exercise is when you are learning a movement for the first time, or maybe it's just the first few workouts you've done with it. If you are still learning the proper technique, that is when you want more sets, but not to momentary muscle failure. You just want to practice that technique first before really pushing as hard as you need to for momentary muscle failure. All right, we are now on to point number 4, and that is my pull-up dilemma. If you have watched this channel for the past few months, I have gone through quite a few different versions of pull-up bars or made pull-up bar reviews. The main reason is I'm still trying to find my go-to standalone pull-up device. Now, when it comes to bands, you also have the option to do pull downs. This was actually in my initial free plan you can get over at GamerBody.com. However, as I've been learning about using bands specifically, I have found that the bands aren't really the best when it comes to pull downs unless you can anchor yourself to the ground. Pretty quickly, I was able to reach a band level where I actually pull myself off the floor as there's no reactionary force keeping me on the ground. Yes, I could like put my dumbbells or something down on my legs to try and keep me from leaving the floor, but I really don't want to do that. And if you're someone looking to just have the resistance band set up, this wouldn't really work. So you would need something on top of you to keep you from launching up. This is why gyms tend to have the pads over your quads to keep you in the seat. That way you could do the pull down without being lifted off the seat, right? Because you probably can pull more than your body weight could keep on the seat itself. So this is a big problem with the bands. I actually made a video in this in the past. So again, pull downs really aren't in the cards for me now. So I do have to find other options. So for me, I have found a standalone pull-up bar I like right now, and that's the 1-2 Fit. I actually just purchased an upgraded version of this. I'll be making a review on in the future. But with this pull-up bar, I just do bodyweight pull-ups, and how I put this into my plan is if you need assisted pull-ups, feel free to use the bands to do that, as you can easily hook them up to allow you to do it with the 1-2 fit bar setup. And believe me, being able to do 15 pull-ups at a pretty slow cadence of 4 seconds per rep is going to challenge the vast majority of you. If you can do 15 at that rep tempo, you are pretty skilled, I'll say. I've got to, I think, around 10 to 11 at that cadence. I can do more faster, but at that cadence, I get to, 10 or 11 is like my max, where I've been adding on additional weight in a backpack, especially over the past year with my dumbbells, in order to keep it within the proper range I'm looking for. So again, you can do pull downs if you'd like to, and especially if you're someone who's not strong enough to leave the floor yet with the bands you are using, but you may want to look into just being able to do pull-ups. If you'd like, feel free to take a look at the cross grips. These are door frame pull-up bars that, while I can't use them in this place, I have used them in many other places I've rented or purchased in the past to live in. So I think they're great. I've traveled with them, so you can get them through TSA. So take a look if you want to go in that direction. If you want a standalone pull-up bar, I am using the 1-2 fit brand right now, but there are a couple others like Bull Bar, and there was a new one that someone sent me the other day that I am taking a look into. So there are some decent options out there as well. So again, these are comments or personal issues I've had with my band, especially starting using them in 2026. We will see if I continue using it after March of this year, as it is February when shooting this video, because I really do love using dumbbells and body weight. It's just my favorite way to work out, but again, it takes a little bit more space and is more expensive. So I'm going to keep using it, see what I like for the next month and a half or so, and then make that final decision. But I wanted to kind of go over this so that you are aware of some of these concerns and issues I've run into while making a decision if you want to move into the resistance band's home gym setups.